Welcome back to the Authentic Human Podcast. I'm Michelle Vickers, and this is part 104 of the story of creation. So, we've been exploring creation from the universal perspective by having conversations with universal beings. And these are not just, souls and, spirit. These are the universal beings that created the existence that we are experiencing today, the existence that we get to live in, on, and through. But they also are the same universal beings that created humanity. And so, you know, I mean, for me, I've always been passionate. I've always been curious about human existence and the history of human existence. But through the journey, I began to realize that my curiosity was going beyond what we were being told in history. History didn't have enough answers for the questions that I had. And that helped me to go deeper into my explorations. And I began to understand why my curiosity of human origins and human existence meshed very well with my ability to communicate with universal beings. And so, it's understanding that your story, your life is unfolding in the exact way that your soul designed your life, because your soul understands the experiences you need. Okay. So your soul is the frequency and vibration. It's the energy that you were created within this universe. It's a conscious energy. And you, as a conscious being, that's that energy. So when I talk about conscious beings, I'm not talking about your physical form, and I'm not talking about, a whole bunch of angels running around in physical form, out there, up there in heaven. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about understanding that the universe is a co-creation of universal existence, and every being is based in frequency and vibration. So it's energy, and we're forms of energy. You can see it once you start this journey, okay? And this is really fascinating, actually, because our human beliefs have blocked this wisdom from our conscious awareness, okay? And when I say human beliefs, the way we've been trained to live, but it's understanding that we're currently on this journey to restore this wisdom. And as you're on this journey, what you learn changes you. Every single time you learn universal truth, you're changed. But your ability to access more information becomes greater. You're expanding your awareness, so you expand your capability of receiving more truth, more information from the universe itself. So how does that work, and what does it mean? Ultimately, it means that you're going to have to challenge the limits of your belief system. And what I mean about challenging the limits of your belief system is understanding and recognizing that every time you begin to see energy, okay, and we're going to speak to the concept of energy and your awareness of energy and its evolution, okay? Because this is really important. So when I first started doing this, I would see energy in more of a physical representation. So when I would feel into the energy and I would see it and I would see universal beings, I would see them as shadows of humans, like sort of human form, less energy. Okay. So it would be like a shadow, and it wouldn't be full. I mean, I could see the energy moving through them, but it was still taking on some sort of human form. So my brain, okay, and this is how your brain really is designed to work, is it was giving me what I needed to allow that information to come in. Okay, just bear with me here for a minute, because energy in the current state of our human condition, okay, which when I say human condition, I mean the limiting beliefs that have been layered in, right, for tens of thousands of years. So this is not just you in your life, and this is not just the current, government administration. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the strategic de-layering of consciousness in human existence. Okay, so this was very strategic. And so what they had to do was they had to layer so many levels of misbeliefs. So it was really thick. Okay. It's reminding me of the best lasagna I ever had in Italy. It was the thinnest little pasta, but there was like 30 layers of it. So it was super thin. And it was it's understanding that that's how they've created this, right? It's super thin, super fine. And so you can kind of see through them. But yet when they layer so many of these misbeliefs on top of each other, now you've got to work through them all. And so your brain is actually helping you. And it does have the capacity to help you get through this. It can't lead. It cannot lead, which means it cannot determine what you need to do, but it has the capacity to allow you to process what you're getting through. Okay. Now, what I mean by this is when you set an intention to become aware of energy, okay, and you allow that energy to come in, your brain is going to, it's like interpret. Your brain is going to interpret what the energy is saying in the way that you can currently understand. Okay. And so this is where a lot of people want to create division. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of people that say, I don't see it that way. I don't see it this way. You're so much further ahead of me. I'm so much further behind you, whatever it is. But the reality is we're all exactly where we are meant to be, not where we need to be, where we're meant to be. Why? Because your mission is unfolding. Your mission here on earth as a soul is unfolding in the experiences that you're having. And so your brain is allowing you to recognize what's really going on, right? So how do we do that? And I know that for so long, you guys have heard me over and over and over say, your brain can't lead. It cannot lead, but your brain can allow you to receive the information that your instincts are telling you is right there, okay? Why is this so vital and so important? Because we have been strategically layered with enough fears to ensure humanity will never recover. Okay? Now, the thing with fear is fear doesn't live in energy. It does live in our minds because fear is based on beliefs. That's why they've layered all those beliefs inside of you. So ultimately, what they've done is create one fear after another, after another, after another. The problem is you're not recognizing most of your beliefs as fears. You're not even recognizing them as fears. You're recognizing them as rules that you have to follow because you believe when you follow them, you will be successful. Okay. And so we're currently at this state of universal existence where that's not good enough anymore. Our ability to follow our fears and let our fears guide us, we're done. It's like when you feel it, it's like they're showing me we're so sick of our fears that it feels like we need a shower because they're dirty. They're hanging on us, but we don't know how to get over them. We don't know how to overcome them. And this is what they're talking about today. This is what they mean when they say your brain has the capacity to understand energy and to interpret it, but you have to allow yourself to feel it first. Okay. So this is where your instincts come in. And when I'm talking instincts, right? Your instincts will never align with fear. I need you to hear that. I need you to feel that. And I need you to write that down. Why? Because Most of those reactions that you have that are based on fear are emotional reactions. Those are part of your training. Those are part of the human condition training. Okay. They're not your instincts. Your instincts are this feels wrong. This doesn't feel right. I'm not supposed to be here. I know I have to go. I know I'm meant to go in this direction. I know I'm meant to do this. Those are instincts. Okay. Emotional reactions can look similar. Okay. But they're based on core beliefs that are not aligned with universal existence. They're based on core beliefs that are aligned with fear, control, and manipulation. What do I mean by that? The reality is when you base your life on fear or any choice you make, you're actually trying to control an outcome. I want you to feel that. I want you to hear it. You may think you're not a controlling person, but if you're living with any energy of fear, you are trying to control an outcome. What does that mean? That means instead of recognizing that there will be a challenge, there will be adversity in the exploration that you know that you're meant to follow and you're meant to unfold in the path that you're meant to go, you're recognizing it as fears and you're trying to troubleshoot before you even hit the path. That troubleshooting, that trigger in your brain that is saying we need to protect ourselves, we need to keep ourselves safe, and we need to ensure that everything's going to be okay. That's based on fear. And we've been strategically taught that that is how we're meant to live, we're meant to exist, we're meant to build our life. But you know what happens when your life, the foundation of your life is built on this fear? Because that's what it is. You're not building a life of abundance or fulfillment or joy or purity or love or respect. You're building a life based on fear, control, and manipulation. You're literally manipulating yourself. And this is where humanity is having a tough time right now, because 2026 is, it's literally when our dreams are meant to come true. It's the beginning of the new. But your fears can't come. They cannot come. Because the future of human existence cannot be built on control and manipulation. So if you're trying to take your fears along with you, that's why it's not working. It's understanding and recognizing that your instincts have the capacity to show you the way. And the energy will manifest through you. Your mind will allow it to interpret the energy. That's what your brain is designed to do. Okay. And as your frequency rises, how is that possible? And how does that work? The more wisdom you take in from the universe, the higher your vibration and frequency has the capacity to go, which means the higher your frequency and vibration, it's like you're a satellite, okay? But it's almost like the satellite's closed. And so it's slowly opening. So as you raise your frequency and vibration, okay, your satellite will open more. So now you can receive more information, and then it opens more, and then you receive more. Simultaneously, your mind is expanding. Your mind's capacity to understand the universe is expanding. Because here's the thing, our brains, okay, were strategically designed to understand and encompass the entire existence of the universe, everything, consciousness, soul awareness, soul creation, like every aspect, okay? Your brain was designed to understand it, to integrate it, and to, it's not even, because when we're in fully conscious state, we don't need to interpret anything. We just receive it. It comes right through your brain. Okay. So right now, I want you to think about your brain as all these layers on top of it. Okay. So all of your beliefs are all layered on. So in order for your brain to process what you're feeling in energy, okay, it has to go through these layers. Fear doesn't. Da, 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 da. Fear goes straight in. Why? Because it's part of those beliefs. It's inside the layers. And you've created them so intricately that whatever it is you're trying to allow in, it's got to work through these fears. And so this is why it's so much easier for your brain to accept fear than it is for it to accept truth. This is why humanity has been trained to fear truth. That's how easy it was. They're just going to put a whole bunch of misbeliefs in front of you. And literally, those misbeliefs, you're going to have to filter truth through it. Because that's what energy and awareness is. It's truth. It's really simple. It's not complicated. And so your mind, it's like you decided to become best friends with the worst possible friend for you. That's what fear is. Okay. So you've cultivated this relationship. You've literally built your entire mind strategically around it. So and when I'm talking about this, I'm talking about every single one of your beliefs, how you're meant to succeed, how you're meant to eat, how you're meant to get up in the morning, who you're meant to be with. Are you meant to be married? Are you not? Are you, a man or a woman or whatever your beliefs are? It's understanding that every single one of them is filtered through misbeliefs. Misbeliefs are also known as lies. Now, who says they're misbeliefs and who says they're lies? Comes back to the truth and the fact that there's only one truth of existence, period, about anything in existence. There's one. There is no my version and your version. There is no my truth and your truth. There is no, this is my perspective and that's your perspective. No, it's the universe and the universal perspective. And either your satellite is open enough to receive the full universal perspective, or it's still closed and you're filtering the universal perspective to make you comfortable. And the moment you're doing that, you're basing your life on fear. Is this starting to make more sense now? It's understanding that your brain has the capacity to follow the energy. It can't create energy, okay? And it can't create your path, but it has the ability to follow it. Why? Because it was strategically designed to allow you to experience, they're showing me like smelling flowers, And so when you smell a flower, it's understanding that that is the physical representation, but underneath it is the frequency and vibration. And that frequency and vibration is complete. So it's a full recognition of when you do, like when it's the simple act of you just smelling a flower, okay? It's understanding that that experience is actually a universal creation between your soul and the soul of that flower. Your soul and the consciousness of your soul and the consciousness of that flower coming together to create a moment of universal truth and wisdom. And it's an exchange of consciousness. So when you smell it, you're feeling the entire, when you relax into it and you sort of melt into the flower, that's your surrendering your energy to the energy of the flower. It's no longer a physical experience. It has now become energetic. So you're now inhaling energetically the frequency and vibration of the flower that is in its pure state, in recognition that that's what you're craving. You're craving more of your own pure state. You're not inhaling the flower. Okay, I know this sounds, but I know you feel it. Those of you who understand where we're going with this, you understand the depth of wisdom that they're sharing. For those who just still think you're smelling a flower, this is not the right place for you. So what happens and what is happening is you're literally inhaling the consciousness, but it's understanding that that drive, that desire of you taking that moment is because what you're craving is more of yourself. And that flower hasn't been controlled or manipulated. No matter where it's been grown, no matter under which conditions it's been grown, it is still its full conscious self, which means it knows and it understands why it's in existence. It's fulfilling its purpose. And it's also participating in consciousness and the expansion of human existence. Why? Because it's sharing its energy with you in the moment. It's sharing its energy with every conscious being. So every insect that happens to engage with it, the soil that engages with it, everything, the water that it needs to grow, that's a conscious, that's an exchange of consciousness. And so it's understanding that that's how your mind, so just think about how your mind processes for a moment. When you are breathing in a flower and you can feel it, your body shifts in that exact moment where it's like, oh, and all of a sudden you just relax, right? You just change. Your frequency and vibration changes. Okay. So that right there is not only how your brain processes energy and frequency, it's how your body is processing energy and frequency. But it's also letting you know that your instincts are pure. They're right there and they're ready and they're working for you, because it's understanding that your innate nature is connected to consciousness and existence. It's not complicated. You don't have to search high and low for it. You don't have to feel like, you're not connecting or someone else is doing it so much better than you. No, you're on the right path. And your ability to receive information, to receive awareness from the universe, energetically, it's alive and well. And it's thriving. It is thriving underneath all the fears and all the limitations and all the control and all the manipulation. It doesn't actually care about fears. It doesn't care about manipulation and control. That's why they can't affect it. Your frequency and energy does not care about fear. Just feel that. Your frequency and energy, your vibration is focused on purity, joy, love, respect, compassion, balance, movement, illumination. Joy could be, anyways, probably missing one of them, all 9 of them. 9 fundamental energies. If you want to know more about them, I did. I wrote about them with the universe in belief. Why? Because it's important for us to know our heritage and our origins. But what they're really talking about today is you understanding that no matter how many fears you hold, they can't win. They're not meant to win unless you choose to surrender to them. What does surrendering to fear look like? Defeat. Defeat. That moment where you give in because you genuinely believe that everyone's working against you and you're never going to make it, or that you can't, or you shouldn't, or you won't. It's understanding that the universe has stacked the deck in your favor. It's created the opportunity for you to become a universal force in existence. Just feel that. You have the potential to become a universal force in existence. That's what people talk about when they're talking about your soul purpose and your soul mission. It's literally recognizing that you're meant to be a universal force in existence. And every single challenge, every single moment of your life, and every single opportunity that literally makes you feel like you're not enough, that you're beaten already, or you're beaten down, it's not the universe's way of saying you're not worth it. It's the universe's way of saying there's an easier way and there's a better way that's in alignment with who you are. Keep going. Keep going because you're more than this. Settling for this isn't going to work. It's not enough for you. You need more so that you can fulfill your reason for existing. You need more. And the only reason that your brain is like, oh, I don't want more. I don't need more. I'm fine with this. I don't want to be greedy. Oh, that goes back to all those beliefs that you got layered in there. Because remember, the universe only works in abundance. Abundance is the only exchange of universal energy that the universe works in. It doesn't work in, oh, here's a little bit. Abundance recognizes and understands that everything you need to receive, everything you need to recognize, everything you need to feel, everything you need to hear and learn and understand, it's at your fingertips. And your brain has the capacity to allow that information in, but it can't if your beliefs tell it it doesn't work that way. Oh, no, that's not true. Oh, no, that's ridiculous. So the next time your instincts tell you, is there something else going on here? Instead of deflecting or instead of doubting, just allow yourself to feel it. Surrender into that energy and see what happens, see what comes. Maybe you'll have a vision, maybe you'll have an inspiration, but it's the surrendering to the energy that's going to make the difference. Okay? It's all about you finding your legs again, finding your foundation. Because your foundation for you participating in creating the future of human existence means that you have to overcome. And when I say overcome, I mean literally like you have to go right through the center of every single one of your beliefs that you thought were real, you thought were important, you thought were going to shape and change the life and make you successful. Every single one, you got to let them go. And I can tell you that every single one of them comes back to either one of the 5 systems. They come back to the education system, the religious system, the financial system, the medical system, or the government that ensures all those systems remain intact. So somewhere in there, your beliefs are connected to one of those systems because every single one of those systems is strategically designed to base every single one of your beliefs in fear. We're going bigger. We're going bigger than ever before. But the truth is, if you want to heal, if you want to access truth, if you want to become who you're meant to be in every aspect of universal existence, these are the truths you need to face. And again, you're going to get levels of truth until you allow your brain to receive all of the truth. Okay. So again, you're opening your satellite. Just think about it that way. And there's going to be some days where you're like, close it. I don't want any information today. I am done. I am over. That's okay. But take your few hours, feel that way, but then make sure you open again. Don't close yourself off from truth. Don't close yourself off from your soul and the universal beings and the universal existence that you know you're meant to participate in, because that's actually what you're craving. That's why you're sad. That's why you feel lost. That's why you feel lonely. It's not because you're disconnected. It's because you close off that connection so you won't feel it, so you can focus more on your fears. I know it sounds backwards, but it's actually true. And again, that's just a whole other truth. All right, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to keep going deeper with this, but right now it's really and truly about you feeling into truth versus fear. And this is a whole new level. Okay. Again, there's no competition. There's zero competition. This isn't about what they see and you see and whoever sees. This is understanding that your journey is with you and you alone, because you are the universal being who is going to fulfill your destiny. Nobody else can do it for you. Nobody else can support you in doing it. Okay. It's your job. Others will show up when you align yourself with the truth along the way. If no one's showing up, if the support isn't there, it's because you haven't aligned yourself with the truth yet. The more you align yourself with the truth, the more abundance the universe can give you so that it'll propel you forward on your path and on your journey. Okay. Thanks so much. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.